channel, Aisha Lachey Reads. Today I have a small book haul for you. These are all the books that I've gotten over the past couple of months. I put them into a couple different categories. So the first one I'm going to go over is books that I've already read. So the first is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This is a arranged marriage romance. The father in this story made a deal with a rich billionaire for him to marry his daughter. They are also wealthy, but they are not generationally wealthy, so he sets them up to be married. The main male love interest hates her at the beginning, wants nothing to do with her, and so you just get to see over time how he ends up like falling for her and trying to get past the issues that go along with this arranged marriage. I really loved this one. I believe I gave it a 4-star. I did annotate everything. I also sprayed the edges. You probably can't see them as well because of all my tabs, but I sprayed the edges to paint to match the book. So this was one of the books that I've really liked so far this year. The second book that I've already read is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and this has to be one of my favorite books of the year so far. I can't say for sure if it's gonna be the favorite, but I absolutely love it. We'll take a minute to just look at how beautiful this cover is. The gold is beautiful, and also these sprayed edges, the dragons, and the black are just everything. This is about a school. It's a college where our main heroine, she originally was supposed to go into the scholar section of this school and become a scholar, but her mother is the general, and so she makes her go into the writer's quadrant. And in the writer's quadrant, you either live or die, and it is all about dragons and them bonding with dragons and them learning fighting and all of that through this school. And it was one of my absolute favorite books that I've read in a long time. I don't want to go too much more into detail just because I don't want to give any spoilers, but if you love fantasy romance, I highly suggest this one. The romance in this just had everything because it's like enemies to lovers, and it was just so good that I devoured this in a couple days. So definitely check this out if you like fantasy romance. The next set I have are going to be mystery thrillers. I like to go into my mystery thrillers a little bit more blind just because I find the stories a little bit more enjoyable, but I know the gist of some of these. So the first one I have is The Only Survivor by Megan Miranda. This is a story about a group of kids that were in an accident when they were in high school, and multiple of their classmates died. So every year around the anniversary they get together and just do like a little memorial and just see how everyone's doing. And so I believe this takes place 10 years later. At this reunion, a couple of them have mysteriously died, and so there's like a mystery surrounding that, and that's basically all I know about this one, but I'm really hoping I love it. There's been a lot of mixed reviews on this, so either people like it or they really hate it, so I'm hoping I'm the one who loves it. And the cover of this is just beautiful, so I also had to spray the edges of this book, and so I just did like a sunset color to match the book. So we'll see how I end up liking this thriller. The next thriller I have is You Shouldn't Have Come Here, and this is a book about a girl who is trying to escape the city, kind of take a break from life, so she rents an Airbnb in Wyoming, and the Airbnb, the owner is still living there, and he turns out to be like a handsome man, but there's things that like unsettle her, like there's no cell service and there's a missing woman, and so that's all I know about that one. But like secluded areas, missing women, a hot landlord who could or could not be a killer, I'm definitely down for this, and I'm hoping I like this one. I've also heard mixed reviews on this one too, so I'm hoping I'm one of the ones who like this book. The next couple I have are horror. The first one is Virgin Night. by Christopher Robertson. This one is a 90s-esque like slasher book. It takes place on like a lake town. There is a church that is like a big part of this. And with it being taking place in the 90s, there's a lot of hate and stuff towards homosexuality and stuff like that. And so you have the church that is involved with that. And so it's a really heavy topic on that. So I would definitely check your trigger warnings. I'm about 100 pages into this one and I'm liking it so far. We haven't got to the horror part of it yet. But I'm excited to see how this turns out. And 90s, 80s, anything horror slasher is my absolute favorite. So I'm expecting this to be a higher star read for me. And then the next book I have is These Delicious Delights. And this is actually a zombie novel. It takes place in like our world, where there is a disease that turns people into zombies basically, and they can only survive on human flesh. But the government has come up with a synthetic human flesh that they can live off of, and if they have this, they're fine. They act like normal people as long as they have the human flesh to feed off of. And every once in a while, they can turn and kind of go crazy, and that happens to one of the girls in this novel. They are at a music festival, and their friend kind of goes crazy and starts killing people, and then after that, there's just more and more mysterious deaths, so it's kind of like a murder mystery. I've read books where there's synthetic blood for vampires, and they live among us, and so this one sounded interesting because it's zombies who live off of synthetic flesh in our world. So I'm excited to see how this one goes. It's definitely different from some of like the other horror thriller books that I have read. The next stack I have are fantasy books. The first one is Wings, Once Cursed and Bound. This one is a novel about a girl who lives in Seattle, and one night after her ballet or dance practice, an accident happens and a vampire ends up saving her, and he kind of brings her into the world of like the supernatural, and she finds out she is actually supernatural, and so she kind of goes on this adventure with him to find out more about the supernatural world and kind of what she is. And it takes place in Seattle, which is nice because I've been there a lot, so it'll be easier to like picture where they're going and the things they're doing. So it's just fun to see places that I've been to in books. So we'll see how I like this one. I'm definitely really intrigued by the plot of this. The next one I have is A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. This is a fantasy romance. I don't know too much about this. I've seen a lot of it. People talk about it on TikTok and YouTube, and so I just picked it up because I'm in a fantasy romance mood. So I kind of want to go into this one blind just because I like to be surprised by books, and I think I might enjoy this one a little bit more without knowing a whole lot about it. The next fantasy one I have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This one has been all over TikTok and YouTube, and everyone seems to love it. It is about a girl that was orphaned when she was younger, and she is taken in by a vampire family, and she's been training her whole life to compete in these games, which are kind of Hunger Game-esque games, and if you win these games, then you are granted a wish, and she wants to wish to be a vampire like her found family, and so I'm really excited about this. And there's also a love aspect in this book, so more fantasy romance to get into. I might start this one really soon just because everyone has been loving it and it just sounds amazing. The next book I picked up is Trees of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. So I absolutely know nothing about this. I just saw Brandon Sanderson, and he says it's different than most of the other stuff he's written, and it's part of his secret projects that he's been writing. This was a book that he had written just for his wife, so he decided to publish it with her okay, And this cover is just absolutely beautiful, and also the inside sleeves, the inside end papers are beautiful, so I'll show you those. It also has this beautiful green hardcover, which I love because green is like my favorite color. But it has like these beautiful flower prints with like teacups and stuff on it. And so on the edges, I painted it to look like the inside end pages of the book. And so I really love the way this turned out. I'm definitely excited to pick that up because I love Brandon Sanderson's writing, and I'm excited to see how this is different compared to all of his others. And the last book is the one I think I'm most excited for. When I got it, I was super excited. This is Brett Weeks' The Night Angel Nemesis, and this is the 4th book in the Night Angel world. It used to be the Night Angel trilogy. So I'm currently rereading the Night Angel trilogy. So I don't want to go into detail on this just because it is the 4th book in the series, but I've been waiting for so long for another book in this world or series just because I loved the original series so much. This book is huge, but I also got the Barnes & Noble edition that is signed by Brent Weeks, which I'm so excited about because I have the all-black edition of the Night Angel trilogy and is also signed by Brent Weeks. So now I have all of them signed by him to go on my shelf. And so I can't wait to finish the other one so I can start this because I'm just so excited for it. And that is all the books that I have to haul for you today. So thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe if you want. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.